Welcome to another Rowdy Thursday, and that can mean one thing, ladies and gentlemen, and one thing only. It is a brand new episode of A Worthy Addiction.
Oh, yeah.
A show, I like that. A show, ladies and gentlemen, like no other, hosted by none other than me and my Rowdy brother. So let me not waste any time introducing him. Ladies and gentlemen, he is way cooler than any of your favorite superheroes. Ladies and gentlemen, my man, Unworthy Dynamite Collector. Woo!
Thank you. And my brother over here, this side of me tonight, the co-host of the show, the main attraction. He's like your pinky toe. You just want to bang him on every piece of furniture you got. Mr. Toy Addict 17.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for that beautiful intro. And for everybody that's watching, we thank you for joining us tonight. I mean, you could have been anywhere, but why wouldn't you want to be with us tonight? It's the Rowdy Brothers. Like, why wouldn't you want to be with us? So we thank you, whether you're watching on a replay or watching us live right now. But more importantly, if you not hit that like and subscribe, please do so. And hit that notification bell so you can know when we're on and when we're not. If not, that's okay too, because we'll be here every Thursday to entertain you guys. Unworthy, my man, how are you doing, dude? How are things?
And I have been sicker than a bastard, if you want to know the truth.
You have been sick.
This nasty cold that my kids brought home from school, and just it's been kind of miserable. We had to work all week with a head cold, stuffy, feeling like I probably shouldn't have drank a whole bottle of NyQuil before I started the shift.
Well, that sucks. I'm sorry you're not feeling well. I mean, so how do you go about treating it? Do you besides taking meds, do you put the little wet rag on your forehead and just lay back? Do you?
I'd prefer to get pampered, but my wife she says I whine too much, so she doesn't do too much pampering. So I just I handle it by taking a bunch of NyQuil and sitting in my bed, whining like a little baby.
That's
just
fair,
like any other grown man should,
Right. We're all entitled to whine like babies when we're sick. It's tradition. It's not tradition, but in our home growing up, and this is to no surprise to anybody. Anytime you were sick or anytime it was raining in a Hispanic family, we always made soup. Soup was the thing everybody made. It was sopa de jamón y salchichón. That's what we used to eat. And my mom would throw it. Yeah, it's like sausage. It's like the Goya sausage with some pieces of ham. And my mom would throw like pumpkin in it and corn and a cob. And she would throw, olives, everything. She would throw everything, man. And then she would cut up some avocado and make it look like a boat. So it looked like the boat was swimming in the ocean, like it's floating on the ocean. It was great. Like, definitely. Oh man, that's the
you think if I popped in tomorrow, you think she would make that for me, being as I'm sick?
You're gonna drive 5, maybe 6 hours all the way down. That is commit, dude. If you drive for that long just to get soup, she better make soup. I'm gonna be like, Mom, you better make that soup. But listen, again, thank you everyone who's joining us tonight. Enough about us, ladies and gentlemen. We have a special guest. I feel like I don't know. I feel like every single time we get a guest, man, we level up. We just become even cooler and cooler because our guests are freaking awesome. So we're super excited to have this next guest. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to waste any time introducing him. Ladies and gentlemen, he is a New York artist, ladies and gentlemen, that does he works on his own comic books. He has his own toy line. He has his own merch. But more importantly, he's a phenomenal human being. And we can't wait to meet him and meet the man behind the art. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Mr. Rio Spalenta, a.k.a. Food Stamps in the house. What's going on, dude?
What's going on, my people? I'm chilling. Thank you so much for that beautiful intro.
Dude,
great, man. I love what you guys are doing. Thank you.
Thank you, dude. It's an honor. And we talked a little bit backstage, man. This is like a long time in the making because I've talked about seeing your stuff in New York Comic Con, which we're gonna get into. I've meeting you at Chubsy Wubsy telling me, it was just meant to be. So I was like, the minute the opportunity came, I was like, we got to have Food Stamps on the show. We got to have him. We got to get to know this gentleman and get to know his work. So, dude, we're honored and we're blessed to have you on, man. We're very excited to get to know you tonight, man.
Thank you, man. It's a pleasure for me to be here. Chubsy Wubsy, greatest toy store in New Jersey, maybe in the area. So go check them out. really good people. We met each other there. He was carrying some of my stuff, of course. And I'm just here to chill out with some two homies here.
All right.
That's what's up. What's up? And if you guys want to check on Chubsy's and check out his store, it is on our link tree in our bio. So definitely go check out it. Much love to Mrs. Wubsy and Mr. Wubsy, wherever you are, if you're watching. So before we get into all this, I want to say what's up to the chat because we have a bunch of people. We have a lot of people here showing you some love. So we're ready to showcase them. And then after that, we're going to get into it. So we have David Rotenga says, looking forward to tonight's show, Reels. As you know, I am an avid collector of your pieces. What's in the works as far as the future progress for you? We're definitely going to get into that because and this is a perfect segue. If anybody here has an awesome question, and I'm definitely going to showcase that question first again. If anybody has a question for our guest, please ask them in the comments, and I will definitely showcase them. We have Toy Art Unlimited.
What's up?
Toy Art Unlimited. Go ahead.
I want to shout out real quick to David. David's actually vision for our graffiti artist.
Okay.
He cops all of my stuff, and I can't be happier to see that he's watching us now. So shout out to David. God bless.
David. God bless, Dave. Awesome. Our homie Rel Collects. What's going on, dude? Welcome. We got our homie Raven's Eye Studios in the building. We got our homie Tripping with Toys. What's going on? We got the Chain Brothers in the house. What's going on? The Chain Brothers. Mr. Steal Your Girl, Mr. Green Geek 88 in the building. A big, fat, wet, sloppy wet pie. You already know. We love it. We got everybody's favorite dad, Cobra Dad, in the house.
Just had an episode of Weekly Habit. If you didn't catch that, make sure you go check that out after you watch our show.
After. All right, we got our homie TMNT 1987. What's going on? One of the hosts of Behind the Plastic, who, by the way, they have had.
Yes, I was just on the Behind the Plastic this week. That was a very nice experience. We got to record it on my birthday, and then it came out. So I've been getting birthday wishes all day today, even though my birthday was last week.
Ain't that great? Where you could just get birthdays. It's like moving into February. People are still saying happy birthday. That's great. Definitely check out that episode.
We'll keep it going. Next week, you guys can all tell me happy birthday again next week, too. My birthday can be every Thursday.
we got another half of the Chain Brothers links in the house. So we have Vice and Links, both of them. We got Shoot Me. What's going on, dude?
Shoot.
We got homie Diggs Figs in the house. What's going on? Again, thank you, everybody who's watching us right now and showing some support for our guests because, again, tonight, it's not about the Rowdy Boyz tonight. It's about food stamps. The spotlight is on this man, and we're going to showcase all his stuff and learn about him. And just to kind of kick things off, Reels, I always like to start the show off with a kind of a discussion question to kind of just break the ice. And seeing as you're a comic book guy and you have these characters and this whole lore and all these stories, I thought it was appropriate to ask a question, and everybody in the chat could participate in this question. And the question is this: we always showcase and always show love to our heroes, but today is going to be a little different. Today, I want to know, who is your favorite villain? And this could be from movies, comics, TVs, or games, or etc. So think about that. Who is your favorite villain? Who stands out? I know it's a loaded question because there have been a lot of amazing people playing amazing villains in a lot of stuff. So,
yeah, man.
Reels, we're going to start with you.
Yeah, the villains are the most interesting, of any story, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this is kind of a no-brainer for me, seriously, because my favorite superhero of all time is Unworthy's shirt right there, Batman.
Right? That's awesome.
And he's only really, really dope because he has the craziest, dopest, maniacal villain ever. And that's the Joker, of course. So I think the Joker is just, and I'm thinking of it, and nobody else pops to mind. I mean, it might make somebody else when I'm off the show, but the Joker has stood the test of time. He's, the king of the Rogues Gallery.
Mm-hmm.
Just, without Joker, there is no Batman. So how could you not respect?
Absolutely, I agree, 100%. Good choice. Unworthy, favorite villain from movie, TV, game, or whatever.
Well, it is a loaded question. I would say, as far as a movie or TV would go, I would say I think the villain that I like the most in the last like 10 years or so would have to be Negan on
Oh
The
yeah,
Walking Dead.
Walking
I
Dead,
think he was
absolutely.
such a badass in that show,
Oh
and
yeah.
I'm not too familiar with how the new show is going. Is there's like a whole new series with him and with uh, what
Ma-
what's the chick's name? Maggie. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
ma-
yeah.
I don't know. I haven't seen any of that one, but he was great. He was my favorite TV villain, I would say. But as far as superhero villains go, I gotta say it's a toss up between, I would say, either Loki or Lex Luthor. Honestly, I think they're
Okay.
the most. Uh, Lex Luthor is like the most intelligent. Where Joker is kind of like way out there and just
Hmm.
does things for the pure joy and
Yeah.
insanity of it. Lex Luthor is just like a
Right.
very well thought out villain. He'll kill you with purpose. And he cured his sister's cancer and then gave her cancer again just to be like, you see what I could get done if it weren't for Superman.
It's
Yeah.
terrible. We love Lex Luthor. We love him. For me, I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. I'm not gonna mention comics or TV. Well, it's TV. So I'm gonna say Bobby the Brain Heenan.
All
Bobby the
right.
Brain Heenan, back in the day in the old WWF era, where he had Mr. Perfect with him, he had Ric Flair with him. Man, you anywhere he went, they used to call him the Weasel, because
He was
everybody
a
was being
vile son of a bitch.
it was terrible. Yeah,
Yeah.
you just wanted to hit him every time he was on. He was just annoying. He was always yelling. He was always like talking bad about your favorite wrestlers at the time, whether you're a Hulkamania fan, whether you're a Warrior fan, whether you're a Macho Man fan. He was just always in the middle of everything. He was just terrible. And but also too, he's kind of in a way like Paul Heyman right now with Roman Reigns, where there's good villains, there's always got to be like a sidekick villain, and he was that good sidekick villain back in the day. Like I definitely like before there was a Paul Heyman, there was a Bobby the Brain Heenan, because that dude, man, he could piss you off, and especially when he did the whole like when your favorite, because remember back in the day wrestling was all gimmick. I mean it is still kind of, but not as much back then. Back then was more superheroes. So I remember when your favorite wrestler was pinning the bad guy, he's about to win, and then Bobby the Brain Heenan would jump on the ropes and distract the ref, but then
Yep.
Hogan come and hit him, and I'm like, so
Yeah.
definitely Bobby the Brain Heenan was one of them. So we got a couple of answers in the chat, a lot of them similar. So Cobra Dad says the Batman Who Laughs, yeah, definitely a great villain.
Yep.
Chain Brother says Thanos is badass, absolutely.
Mhm.
Lewis says the Joker. David says the Joker hands down.
Yeah.
KJ Smith in the house. What's going on,
What's up,
KJ Smith?
KJ?
What up?
Our PR department, welcome. It says Simon Phoenix. Okay. We got who else? Mr. Doom.
MF
This is
Doom.
motherfucking Doom.
Yeah.
Toyota Unlimited says Magneto.
Magneto's a good one.
Yeah.
Our PR department says Joe Doe from 7. Okay. Chu says the foe as Green Goblin for me. And then the joke. Okay. As far as movies, who we got? Play the Violator Clean. Yeah, absolutely. Deathstroke.
Leguizamo.
We got Real Collect says Kid Blue. We got Dead Man One in the house. What's going on, Pete?
What's up,
What's
Dead
going
Man?
on, dude? What's going on? So, yo, good choices, dude. That's the thing. And you're absolutely right, Reels. You can't have a hero and not have like that. And honestly, a lot of the villains, the story, like I have this DVD that's all about villains, right? It's all about the DC villains. I mean, what did you grow up on? Did you grow up on DC or did you grow up on Marvel?
I grew up with when I was growing up, there wasn't that big divide. They would do a lot of crossovers. It was like
Okay.
Hulk and Batman, the giant
Yeah.
was, and so I didn't have that division when I was a kid. I'd play with Batman and the Hulk in the same time. But as I've gotten older, I've leaned more towards DC.
Okay.
They let me down in the cinematic universe, like they let else down.
Yeah.
I don't understand it, but I gotta say that Marvel had more of the cool characters. As I was, Spider-Man was always relatable and just spooky looking with those big bug eyes, and then Hulk, of course, don't get him angry, just he'll Hulk out. And Batman was just totally. Batman's the best because he's kind of like this operatic, over the top, almost a Michael Myers of the superheroes. He's almost borderline villain. So
Yeah.
yeah, but I think I'm more of a DC guy. Just
Okay.
the machine, the Marvel machine, just pumped out so much.
Yeah, they
Getting fragmented a little.
no, yeah, that first 10 years for the Marvel Cinematic Universe was like on
Magic.
point.
Yeah.
On point. Like everything that I wish DC would have thought of first. And maybe they did, it wasn't executed as good as Marvel did, right?
Yeah.
Because and again, it brought like to have characters like the Guardians of the Galaxy who weren't like really big popular characters that a lot of people didn't know, and then for people to have this big old fan base, and now they have their own video game and they have all these movies and like they're on the what if shows and all that stuff, and people like them, and then having great and also too great casting, like the cast that they picked for a lot of the Marvel people was really
That's
really
why
good.
I'm
Like,
so excited for the new DC universe
yeah,
moving forward with him in
yeah.
charge. The dude that they brought the fucking Guardians of the Galaxy to the forefront and made him this popular. Now he's in charge at DC, so I'm pretty excited to see what happens.
Oh yeah, what he's done with Guardians, like you said, and with what is it, Suicide Squad or the other guys?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Suicide Squad, yeah, the remake one.
Maker world now that's developing. It's amazing, really rich.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the more obscure characters because they're able to do so much more with them without being afraid of their IP.
Yes.
That's the problem, is that these characters are pigeonholed. So we don't get to see Batman, experiment with something, or Superman, or Spider-Man. We see them stuck in this world that doesn't grow, and that's the problem. I think beginning to get tired of that. But now, like people like Peacemaker and then Blade started it all.
Yeah, Blade. Oh, Blade! How good were those movies?
Oh, amazing. So but I'm hyped to see what happens with DC. I don't understand this. The Superman, what that may be the next Superman. He looks just like Henry Cavill.
Legacy. Corn
Sweats.
We know him by his last name, Corn Sweats, because we thought it was like the funniest thing in the world.
That's
what he does.
It's because that's what I get at the barbecue. Is I get the corn sweats when I eat too many corn on the cob.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I don't get it. I don't understand why they grab somebody that looks exactly like the guy. And
it is now that I think about it, it is ironic how, because the dude bulked up, like Corn Sweat bulked up for the role.
Yeah, I saw him. Really he did an interview for this other movie that he's doing right now, or show that he's on. And like the first time I looked up this Corn Sweats, he was kind of. I was like, this guy's gonna be Superman. Now you look at him now, he's like, oh boy, he's been hitting the gym.
For real. So we got some answers. So just to showcase, no chewing. What's going on, buddy? I wanted to say what's up to you. David says Marvel has the best movies and DC has the shows. I agree. Great animated movies. DC has great animated movies as well.
Yeah.
Deadman Juan says Batman, the Michael Myers of superheroes. Love it. Man, if Michael Myers was a superhero, man, you know what? That's a villain that I didn't mention. I wanted to stray away from horror. But
that's who I figured you were gonna say.
I was gonna say it, but I had to switch it up a little. Chu says Deadman sounds like a cool matchup, but yeah. Sounds like a good one. It says sounds like it. Yep. It says Blade's class. I think the first Marvel movie. Yeah.
I saw Blade in the. They had the $2 movie theaters in Times Square, around Times Square. Yeah. I saw Blade. I cut school and watched Blade 15 times, maybe more. I swear to God, that movie was just like.
Yeah, the first two were incredible. The third one kind of shit show, but it was still good in its own right. It's just Wesley Snipes didn't want to fucking be a part of it, so like
we could tell.
It lost the grittiness, you know.
The first, and the second one is my favorite one with the hybrid vampires who were like killing vampires, but they're killing humans too. That's when like CG really like popped in. Besides like the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies. Like that's when CG, I really knew what CG was. Like that fight scene in Blade's Lair where he's like fighting like with the sword. He's fighting the vampire with the swords. I'm like, that to me blew me away. And you can see how far it's come now, where now you watch Blade and you're kind of like, this looks like a video game. But now, if they did it now, they probably would look super
I bet
amazing.
Guillermo del Toro directed that, right? Or at least produced it.
Yeah.
But that's where you begin to see his he's a traditional makeup artist, and he
Uh,
believes in traditional stuff, but then he introduced that CG, and you're talking about the
yeah.
ninjas jumping up and
Yeah. The ninjas. Yeah. That was a great scene. Like just them swinging on the poles and just like crawling kind of like it was just amazing. Like part two, Blade 2 is just like that's probably a movie that I saw like a billion times. I'm surprised I don't put it at my top 10 of movies of all time because there have been so many great ones. And again, CGI has changed so much. So it's definitely one of them. We have Chu says Timu Cavill. He's talking about corn sweats. Toya says Danny prefers his corn sweats. yeah, sure. Or is a Vader from childhood to now? Hey, okay.
Oh, that's a
That's
good one.
that's a good villain. Okay. The first one is the best. I'm assuming he's talking about the Blade movies. Novak.
I agree.
KJ Smith says the first Blade when the techno beat kicks, right? Dude, that's an awesome scene in the beginning. Yeah, that's a dope scene. And then our PR department says Blade 2 is the best one. Yeah. Well, listen, I'm glad my question kind of like start this conversation. That's what it was meant to do. But and thank you guys for like
I do. There's only one thing I want to add about Joker being the best. I was sitting here thinking about it as we're talking, and he actually might be the best villain of all time. If you think about some of the big events that have happened, like storyboard events, like comic book arcs that take place over multiple titles, and like Joker's never in those because he is such a chaotic force of evil that it would probably derail the rest of the bad guys. Like Forever Evil comes to mind right away. Like he's not in that story at all. And it's probably because he would derail that whole fucking operation the crime syndicate was trying to put in place. Like he'd be out there blowing up villains just for the fuck of it,
Oh, yeah. I mean, look, in the Joker movie, I mean, Joaquin Phoenix, amazing movie. And, any other villain, I don't know if they could have that type of story with anybody else. And maybe it's that, we love the fact that this guy's just batty, no pun intended.
I agree. Like he's such a icon. It's such an iconic character that I just love the stories where they just don't. They're like trying to understand him, but they can't. They don't know how. There's no way of like understanding why he does.
Can't make it make sense. Yeah.
No, he can't. And I love. Yeah.
So who's your favorite Joker? Actor as far as people who've played the Joker. What's your favorite movie adaptation of Joker or TV series?
Yeah, I'm gonna be political here and say everyone explored a different side of the Joker, but Jared Leto's is the worst. Hands like Jared Leto's. Sorry,
that's all right.
But that's not. I love Jared Leto as an actor. I mean, the movie. Oh man, I forgot what they were, heroin addicts in Coney Island. It was just he's an amazing actor. I forgot the name of it, but I gotta say Heath Ledger though. He had these little nuances in his acting, like the mouth, from medication.
It was like, bizarre.
It's almost like you could see him zap in and out of consciousness as if a real lunatic. And this guy, he was medicated because of these little ticks and quirks that he had. I think he really was the most believable, insane Joker.
Yeah, I agree.
Jack Nicholson was a gangster. He was a gangster that would love to grind your arm up in a vice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think my favorite is Heath Ledger, which at first I was kind of like, this guy is not gonna work out, man. I wasn't used to it, but punk kind of emo thing. I loved it.
Yeah. I'm gonna say I love Heath Ledger. Love Heath Ledger's portrayal. I loved Mark Hamill. He's gonna be the voice of Joker for me till I'm dead. But like my favorite one to this day, and it's still my favorite interpretation of the Joker, is Jack Nicholson. I love the gangster Joker. I love it. It just gave me a lot of like the Batman, the animated series vibes. Like, it gave me a lot of those vibes. And like, I love like, and again, like I'm a big Prince fan. So I love the fact that
Yeah.
anybody, Joker walking into a museum, just tearing the shit up and playing Prince. I'm like, yeah, I would have had the jacket with the boom box too in the back. Like, yeah, go ahead. Let's pay this shit.
89 Batman is still my favorite. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
dude.
still, I mean, the matte black silhouette of Batman and the opera, that was,
yeah, dude.
and they let the Joker be colorful and nuts, and it just worked.
Yeah. David says, yeah, Heath Ledger was an Atlanta zone when it comes to owning the Joker role, in my opinion. I agree, dude. I agree. And that man says, Chain Bros, there was a Spider-Man movie in the 70s, a Captain America in the 80s. They are both terribly horrible. I hear you. I hear you. Hey, well, listen, times have changed, man. A lot of
That
stuff has
Captain
changed.
America movie, I just watched that again last weekend when I was supposed to be working, and I was like watching bits and pieces of it on my phone. I was like, this is a horse shit movie. The Red Skull's Italian. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
No, Punisher too with Dolph Lundgren.
I remember.
That was okay. Captain America, we always looked at it like satire. It was just we just always laughed at it. Spider-Man, even the old series, we laughed at it.
Yeah.
It was just funny. It was campy to me,
You know what movie had like bad, like it wasn't, it was bad, but it wasn't bad like for me. Like when I watched it, I was watching, I was like, man, this is terrible. But back then I was like, man, I was in the first Swamp Thing movie. Remember when Swamp Thing came out?
Yeah.
Like the costumes looked weird, and it was weird, like how he was grabbing the bridge, and it was fake, and it's like they was having this whole swamp fight, and I'm like, man, this is a real shitty movie, but at the same time, like, I really love this movie. Like,
I tried to get my kids to watch it, and they were both just like, "This is really bad."
The best part of that movie as a growing child was Adrienne Barbeau. I think.
Of course.
Oh, well, was it Heath? Was it? Was it? It was her, right? She was the damsel in distress, or was it?
I think in the second one, it was help me out here. I'm trying to think.
I'm terrible with names of actors and actresses.
I think it was Heather.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, obviously, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah, growing up, absolutely.
And it was a John movie, I think.
Sean Stevens in the house. He says, "What's up, Rick? Food stands for life." Okay.
Oh, brother.
Welcome. Oh man, yeah, dude. Great movies, man. But again, thank you everybody for participating. Enough about this. We want to get to know the man of the hour, Rios, food stamps. So just to kind of kick off a little bit, just to kind of kick this things off, just tell us a little bit about yourself, man. Tell us a little origin story of food stamps.
I'll try to twist it up to make it interesting. I told this tale in time.
Go ahead, man.
I used to draw for many different reasons. It was like a form of survival as a little kid.
Okay.
I think I was in preschool, and I hated milk, but I loved chocolate milk. So I would draw sketches for other kids, and they would reward me with the chocolate milk. So I would at the end of lunch, I would have like 5 different chocolate milks, and the teacher would say, "Hey man, you can't drink all of that. Like, what do you do? You're like almost extorting." And then look, this is what I'm doing. I'm drawing. And I think that's the first time. Well, not the first time, but it was one of the early times where I knew that I did something, that I can draw a picture, and people not totally be like, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
Another time is I grew up drawing in my mother's wall in the back of the closet. One day she moves the curtain, the clothes aside, and like pen and ink, crayon, rule of Batman and Superman and Spider-Man and the Hulk, and she wanted to whip my ass. My brother convinced her, like, hey, listen, look, Ma, you could actually see this. At first, she was very dismissive at first, like
yeah.
And I was always trying to get her attention with these drawings. So she finally, noticed when she saw her whole closet ruined.
Yeah.
So I knew that I was able to draw some images and I would win first place, and kind of the whole normal thing.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
when I became a teenager, I saw my brother growing up doing graffiti, and I wanted to
Mhm.
follow. And I grew up in the South Bronx,
Okay.
where fast order was really big. Everybody was bombing the trains in Grand Concourse, and
Mhm.
hip like beginning to bubble and really, Run DMC was hot at the time, and things started
Mhm.
getting commercial. And then fast forward to high school, I was nothing in high school. High school
Mm.
was me. I didn't understand math too well. This was a
Mhm.
poor student. My was horrible. I was in gangs and just all over the place. And I met this guy named Edgar Rivera, who uh,
Mhm.
who kind of showed me these things like silk screening. He showed me
Mhm.
how to like invest my energy in martial arts and stuff like that. And I just fell in love with this idea of like the hood protecting itself with crude weapons, martial
Mhm.
arts that are taught from like old guys, you and I guess that kind of stuck with me to this day because
Mhm.
I went into college and I got my illustration degree
Mhm.
and design degree. Yeah, there's a toy design degree in FIT, and I graduated that and I worked at Fisher Price and worked at Mattel and Spin Master for a little while, and then I worked at Toys R Us where I was able to see
Mm.
sausage made, and I started traveling and I started
Okay.
managing the process, and then I go, oh man, I could. This is power, and
Mhm. Yeah.
very powerful. And from then on, and you hit that moment and you go, oh, that's great, but it's never your own. I'm going
Mhm.
about Mickey Mouse and Thomas the Train and
Yeah, yeah.
all these like properties that's so, like we talked about before, they're pigeonholed. I'm not able to
Yeah.
express myself. So I just had this, Toys R Us was kind of sinking at the time.
Mhm.
Bought an iPad and I started drawing these characters, and I started really thinking about the world of food stamps. Uh,
Okay.
stamps is a play on words, kung fu and food stamps. So I was
Mm.
like, perfect. I got to trademark that, which is officially
Mhm.
trade. So uh,
Okay.
then I started,
Awesome.
yeah, I started using my knowledge to produce things that I love, things that represent me, my
Mm.
neighborhood, and I came up with my first character, Bodega Blade, which this is a version of him that's right here.
Oh yeah.
So this guy Parker, his sword comes out. So I thought like, all right, what if these little badass kids you assume are these bad kids, but they're really protectors of the neighborhood. And I came up with a story that's about these kids that protect their bodega against rival gangs. The
Mm.
play of gangs, every neighborhood is kind of like the Warriors, where
Yeah,
every
yeah, yeah.
the theme. And these kids they're protecting this bodega, and that's about it. I've been at New York Comic Con. I produced a comic book series. We're doing issue 5 now. Uh,
Mhm.
Working on issue 5 now. We'll wrap that up and then have it as a trade paperback. We're pumping out figures, clothing,
Mhm.
merchandise, all this stuff to kind of have people feel,
Mhm.
the experience and get this experience and feel like they're down with what we're working on. So that's my story in a nutshell.
That's
A
that's
long,
awesome, dude.
yeah.
That's super awesome. And the fact that you were able to survive drawing on mom's closet and like still here to
That's
live to
admirable.
talk about it, especially in a Latino family. Like I know how moms are with the walls, and they don't play with that. No,
And to
so
be
definitely.
serious, on a serious note, I'm dead serious. Like if it wasn't for art, if I wasn't doing this, I
Mhm.
would not be around. Like it's serious.
Yeah.
Like this was my only ticket. At the moment I
Mhm.
my ticket, I just thought it would get me to the next day,
Yeah.
in college. And college is not for everybody, but it was like
Yeah. Yeah.
the old Latino family. My mother
Yeah.
was she actually went to college, and she didn't
Mhm.
just know, she didn't talk the talk, she walked the walk. And
Yeah.
I'm like, well, how can I like backtrack and not do that? And
Yeah.
you're a professional more than anything. But
Yeah.
now in that burns inside you, it's like I want to give something back
Yeah.
to the hood. I want to go back to my roots. I want to, express myself in a genuine way. So
Yeah.
that's what Full Stamps is.
That's awesome, man. And I love that. I love one of the things that you said that I love so much is that although you had all these properties, you kind of wanted to find you, like your image. Something about you that you felt more that you had a piece of, like, you know what I'm saying? So just kind of going back kind of like to the comics, like who, like any artists did you get inspiration from growing up? Like, were there any artists that stand out to you from like comics or books that you used to read that you gain a lot of in your inspirations from doing the characters that you do now?
Well, definitely, I would see. I didn't know it at the time until you get, you just kind of live it, And
Mm-hmm.
at the time, I wasn't digging to find out who created what, but
Yeah.
Rosetta, of course,
Okay.
the Rosetta painter, John Romita, of course, but it sounds like everyone mentions this guy, but he's such an influence, and it's Todd McFarlane, because
Yeah.
Todd McFarlane was a master at not only, he was controlling his IP.
Yeah.
He's still the one. He's still the main on
Yeah.
Image, and he actually did what he set out to, was
Yeah.
this household name.
Yeah.
Only that, he took it. He said, "Look, none of these toys look like how I can draw and how the detail." And he was the first to really get us that NECA
Yeah.
detailed stuff that we see,
Yeah.
that we believe. So when we first saw that Spawn character with the comic book and with the clamshell, it was like, this guy just took it to another level. And he,
Yeah.
he's nuts,
No, absolutely. I agree. I always say the story. I always give the story of McFarlane because I'm a big NECA fan, but I always say this. I used to own the Torture. I don't know if you remember the Torture Souls. There were
Yeah.
like these big 18-inch, maybe 12-inch figures from like basically the Hellraiser lore, right? They were like these, figures that were like dismembered. There was blood, there was chins, and like it was big, real controversial in Toys R Us. Like you would go into Toys R Us, there was the toy section, you see all the kids' toys, but then you saw these figures, right? Along with like the Spawn art like style ones and stuff, because he kind of I agree with you, like he changed the game a lot with like how detailed they were. So I used to have those as a kid. My dad bought them because I wanted them because I grew up loving horror movies. So I was like, Dad, I want these figures. And I kept them in the box and stuff. But my mom growing up was real religious and she didn't allow a lot of the stuff in the house. So, she ended up making my dad kind of was like, hey, get rid of those. Like he's too young to have anything like that with, because there was one with like his face was like stretched out and there was chains. Cause remember he used to, and he still does kind of, I mean, he doesn't do it anymore, but he used to do like the real chains for his figures. He used to have the real chains. So, and that's always been my goal to kind of like rebuy all those figures just so I could bring them. Like I'm going to record myself. I'm going to bring them to my mom's house. Say, I'm 38 years old. You can't throw these away. These are mine.
And I'm going to be right behind him recording as well as she whips his shit out of him.
Flying.
Yeah, seriously. JP says, hey, what's going on, JP? How you doing? Go Figures in the house. What's going on? Thank you for joining us. So going back to the characters, you have Bodega, right? Is that your main character in your like in your lore?
Yeah, Bodega Blade. He's not my favorite, but he's the leader. He's kind of like, he's your Optimus Prime, the Goody Two Shoes, the Leonardo. He's and then you have, which is probably the most interesting, is Screwface, because Screwface is he's so complex. He has parents that are never home because they either in jail, and he's trying to keep this band of kids together that they're his only friends, but he's always screwing up and he's always dragging them into some beef, But Demonio is probably my favorite. He's a kid that was left for dead in an abandoned building because he was kind of because he encountered a demon, kind of marginalizes you like this angel, so you automatically become good or bad if you face this evil. So he's become like this urban legend, and he has abilities. So he's probably the most fun one I like to draw, but Screwface is probably my favorite. They all like my children, you know. But
Yeah.
Bodega holds a special place because he was my first introduction, everyone's first introduction, really, to the food stamps world. And he was my first resin toy,
Mm.
and it was that for that litmus test, you know, like,
Yeah.
right, what's gonna happen? I'm just gonna throw my cards out. You know, I threw my
Mhm.
money, everything to this, and went out to stores hustling and grinding. And hey, man, you want to pick this up? What is that? You know,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
everyone would say, okay, it's a guy in a parka with a sword.
yeah.
And you know, we've seen a million of those. And what's the deal with this? So I felt
Mm-hmm.
that I had to create this story to drive this idea.
Mm-hmm. So how many characters besides the ones you have mentioned? Like, is there more characters in the making? Like, you have more, like, are you expanding the line of characters, or is
Yeah.
it like a set number of characters that you have right now?
Right now, you know, with storytelling,
Mm-hmm.
it's I'm not by any means
Mm-hmm.
a scholastic in storytelling or writing.
Yeah.
Put I just put what I like on paper, and you know, see if anyone else gravitates towards it. But there's a ton of characters that are not seen yet. The world is very deep and rich. So there's like
Mm-hmm.
Fudge Killer, who he's lurking. He hasn't really gone out and tested them yet. It's really Fat Fuck Killer, but he's fat, you know, keep it
I
PG on
like
the
that.
folks. He's
You
Fat
don't
Fuck.
got to keep it PG here.
No, yeah, you go ahead. No, you're good.
He's Fat Fudge. Then you have the Cupid Killer. You've got Chain Master. This there's a ton of villains, but it starts to get into like brujeria,
Yeah, yeah.
dark spirit, you know. But it's told from this urban space that I think is not really being explored a lot.
Kind of
But
like Santeria in a way, like that
yeah,
Santeria type stuff.
so like they're playing with Santeria, and all of a sudden Demonio pops up. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
how did homie pop up is because he's half dead. You know, uh,
yeah.
things like that. And I like to just pay homage to the stuff that I grew up on. But there's a ton of characters. I haven't even scraped the surface yet.
Mm.
Uh, right now, it's the full crew, and how they call it the full crew. They call themselves, at least, and it's
Mm.
how do how do they stop the bleeding in their neighborhood?
Mhm.
The neighborhood is engulfed with a rash of gangs.
Mhm.
How do they stop the bleeding? And they
Mhm.
got to together and beat the ass, you know, pretty
Yeah.
much. So that's and it's a coming of age thing. But then the world
Mhm.
starts up, and you get all these fantastical
Yeah.
villains.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that fudge face, like I saw a sketch image on him on your page, and I'm gonna showcase your page now and look up some of the stuff. But I can see a lot of the Todd McFarlane inspiration. Yeah,
Yeah,
I could see Violet. I could see like the clown in that image. When I saw him, the first person I thought about was like that clown, the Violator. Like that's the first person I was thinking of when I saw that. But like, so as far as like comics, now not just showing the comics, like, was comics your first goal when it came to, like, because you started off drawing, right? Was comic like the first goal that you had when it came to all this? Like, hey, I'm gonna start my own comic, or did you want to start with toys, or how did that go?
I wanted to, and this is just because I'm an '80s baby. Uh, is I wanted to do the old school way. Start off
Mm-hmm.
with toy, see how that resonates with people, and
Mm-hmm.
then do a comic, and then
Yeah.
animation, and then whatever comes to be. But
Yeah.
it's only as strong as who's listening. You know
Yeah.
who's.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I did, because I'm a toy designer. My
Okay.
career, and it does come. I wouldn't say easily. I'd say it's what I do, that I felt like that was my opening, was to introduce this as a toy first. But the dream of I'm living a dream
Mm-hmm.
of having my own comic book, my own story, my own toys.
Yeah.
I never take that for granted, man. I mean, shit, I've always been a toy guy.
Okay.
here. There's a million toys. There's toys everywhere. I'm blocking things.
You must have been reading my questions because that was gonna be my next question. But go ahead. I'm gonna ask you that
No,
after.
look, I bleed plastic. I mean, when you go to
Hmm.
toy design at FIT, you have to have a passion for it because
Hmm.
you're in school 7 days a week from
Hmm.
7 to 7, and it's a very 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 stressful curriculum,
Yeah.
and you can't play around because it's really like engineering but on the toy side. And then we learn things like child psychology and color theories and all these marketing and law. And it was very tough for me because I also went back in my 30s, and it was
Hmm.
tough to catch up with these young.
Yeah.
But yeah, the dream, I don't take it for granted. I pinch myself every day and say, hey man, shit, you're living,
Yeah.
you're even if I mean, the food stamps, it's got a long way to go, but I'm very I'm very happy that I'm able to
Yeah.
express myself in that way.
No, absolutely. And I think and one of our buddies in the toy community always says it best. Like we're living in a time now where like it's good to be like a collector and collect things, right? Because now we have not only these toys that we always wanted growing up, but then we also have like people making their own toys, or even they're re-releasing toys that we had because kind of similar to what you were saying, like you wanted to start with the toy. Kind of the Ninja Turtles started off that way, right? Like they released the toys first and then they had the show out, or was it the show first? I can't remember. Was it
Well,
the
He-Man,
they had
show
the
first?
comic. They had the comic.
Yeah,
It
the
was like
comics first.
1 or 2 issues,
Yeah.
and then it went right into the toys, and then the show.
Yeah. So and you see how the show is so much different from what the toys were. I mean, a little similarities here and there, but like the comics were like way different from what they were. So
Way
like
darker.
way
yeah.
darker. So you kind of like answer. I know I'm asking. On whether you have any questions, I didn't want to like.
No, I
Um,
wanted that. Oh, I'm sorry. Go
no,
ahead.
no, you're good. Go ahead.
No, I wanted to say that, yeah, the Ninja Turtles was first comic.
Yeah.
He-Man was first toy.
Yeah.
Transformers was first toy because they got the lot. They were taking toys from Japan and just
Hmm.
white labeling them. That's why Megatron has this big thing in the
Yeah.
over there in Asia. The culture's a little different, so they don't
Yeah.
mind
Yeah.
bulge sticking out of your crotch.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
they were sourcing those toys, and then they needed a vehicle, and they created the animation. And there's a few other properties that maybe Thundercats too started that way, but
Yeah. Hmm.
yeah, Ninja Turtles was like huge. We used to hang out in the project,
Yeah.
read them, and say, "Oh my God, they're cursing!"
Yeah. Yeah. For real. For real. Oh, where they go ahead. You had a question.
As far as the comic books go, are you looking to continue expanding the world besides the Foo Crew, or are you going to maybe have others like spin-off titles, or
Hmm. Good question.
Yeah,
spin-off series?
yes, for sure. Right now, I'm working on a book, and this is the first. I never told anybody this. So
You
you're the
hear
first.
first here. We're the
Yeah.
first.
Exclusive. Somebody do the horn stabs.
Breaking news.
Yeah, we're breaking news.
I'm doing a comic book called Pastor Fist,
Oh,
and
okay.
it's a pastor that helps console the Foo Crew during a tough time in issue 5. And I was like, this guy. Okay, so this is what happened. My son, we're talking about some it was some joke. I
Hmm.
forget, sure he remembers.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
yeah, I'll pass a fist. And I went, pass a fist? That pastor fist. And we
yeah.
started putting names together. And I said, what about this kick-ass pastor that just breaks people's face? And he's a retired boxer. And that's it. And all it took was that. And now I'm illustrating the book is 13 Tunes. He has this very
Mm,
samurai jack stylized kind of
yeah,
visuals, and I'm super excited, man. And that'll be in a few months. But Past the Fist is going to be
that's
every
exciting.
going to be like it's going to be nuts. I just want to take it there, and it's also one of those things
Hmm.
that you just want to release, you know, you just,
yeah.
this world in my brain. And Pastor Fist he's gonna be like he's like the Punisher, you know, but in his own way.
No, that's awesome, man. Now, another question that I was gonna ask you, because it's funny because you're answering so many. I'm like, man, I got all these questions, but he's like nailing them. Growing up, what figures you used to collect? You're a big toy collector. What were you collecting growing up, and what are you collecting now?
All right. Well, look, you could do great work, man. For real, I love the questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Because you were like, oh, it's loosey goosey, which we're just chilling, but you got content.
Well, I was more nervous than you were, so just so everybody's watching, before we started the show, Reels was like, man, I saw the agenda and I was a bit like, oh, you know, I don't want to get nervous, you know, because at the same time, I'm like telling him, well, I set the agenda because I was nervous. Like, we got an awesome artist. I don't want to sound like an idiot on our show. So I mean, I sound like an idiot any other time. So, you know, but fair is fair. But go ahead.
Yeah. I used to not collect. Well, I'll tell you kind of in a strand of
go ahead.
the Mego toys. I would steal them from my cousin. It was so dope with the cloth outfits. There was so many of them.
The original Mescos.
Yeah, first. But my own, you know, when I started, the 80s was G.I. Joe. I had all the vehicles, play sets. He-Man, I was a big He-Man. I used to play He-Man as a kid. Brave Star, Thundercats. There was a show called there was a show. Oh man, it was with these guys that had this red virus on them, and they had 9-inch figures that had clothing. They were similar to Mego. If I remember, I'll let you know. But that was one of the awesome toys. Then as I gotten older, I think it was more like Transformers. Like I used to, for the most complex Transformers, you don't read the instructions. You got to figure it yourself. This is before they dumbed it down. Now it's for kids. It's really dumb and it's really easy to transform them.
Some of them don't even transform now. They're just already a robot.
Or you've tried to transform them and you got frustrated because you couldn't get the leg up. So he's been sitting there like that for the last couple of years. That was the guy.
Now it's the best. The more frustrating it is, the better it is. Transformers was a complex, of course, Voltron. And then I took a break, started hitting on the girls, spray painting, you know, being in the streets, and then you come back to it. You know, you come back. Oh, I threw that out. I threw that out. And then you start trying to get that feeling back. And, you know, now I collect 1/6 scale stuff. I collect foreign stuff, vinyl, designer toys. I collect the mainstream, you know, Ninja Turtle movie came back out, this animated movie, grabbed all of them. I'm still hunting for certain characters. And it's just a hunt. It's like, it's a drug, you know, it's like that hunt, man. And when people spend, because my figures aren't cheap because they cost me a lot to make, and I make very small runs. But when people spend their hard-earned cash on my stuff, like, it's a blessing, and I truly appreciate it. So
no, absolutely.
Yeah, people like Vision for David, you know, I really appreciate you, brother, and you know, many others too, you know. And if it wasn't for them, I couldn't do what I do.
But absolutely.
What I collect. I'm trying to see if there's anything new. I like the new Street Fighter stuff, the
Jada toys. Yeah, they're freaking amazing.
Really, I mean, for $20, I mean, my God, the stuff. I got the Wolverine here. He's back there. Amazing stuff is happening now, and I like that each company's like trying to top each other.
Yeah,
and now the butterfly shoulders, we get all these parts. It's amazing.
It's kind of like one of those things where I'm like, anytime somebody mentions Jada toys, just kind of like McFarlane too, and they say, man, we're getting amazing toys for like $20-some. I'm like, stop saying that because they can hear you. Stop saying that because eventually they're gonna say, we're like freaking getting robbed here. We should be like, they like it this much, and they should have mind paying $30 to $40 for these shits.
Right.
So I'm like, shut up, because I am a big NECA collector. I collect all horror NECA. Like, I love all the horror stuff. I do collect like other companies that do horror figures, but I also too I like venture out like the Jada Toys. But Jada Toys is like that line. Like, I was like, I just got the Mega Man and the Iceman from Jada Toys, the new ones that just came out. I just got those. I haven't opened them, and I love them. And again, they're doing such a great job. They're not on my top 5 because there's only been a few. Like, I'm ready to see once it gets to like the 7th, 8th figure, then I'm like, all right, I could easily say, all right, this is my top 5 figures line of the year or whatever, because they've been doing great. Now, hobbies growing up, like, are they like, besides like collecting and drawing, like, were there other hobbies, any other hobbies that you did growing up, or any hobbies that you do now?
I kind of did the traditional Puerto Rican Bronx thing, which was we all collected baseball cards. We all boxed. You always, everybody was a boxer. Everybody in the neighborhood, and it was more like that thing, the neighborhood has to be tough themselves, because your homies around the neighborhood can flip on you. So it was boxing, collecting baseball cards, and baseball. Roberto Clemente was everybody's hero, and everyone wants to be like him. But that was serious though. I almost got a scholarship for baseball, and it was, I gave it up for love and for stupid shit.
Yeah.
But my hobbies, of course, drawing, art, stuff like that. But I really consider those hobby. That's more like it's just a way of life. To me, hobbies just pick up. So that's some of them.
Yeah. Unworthy, what were your hobbies growing up, man?
Fishing.
Okay.
We used to go fishing a lot. We used to hunt squirrels, rabbits. We used to do a lot of hunting too, small game stuff when I was younger. My grandfather would just kind of send us out in the woods with 22s and be like, "Oh, just don't shoot each other,"
Yeah.
But yeah, I used to collect a lot of baseball cards. Football cards more than baseball cards. I wasn't really much into video games. I am sort of now. And I used to actually draw quite a bit too. I was never any good at it, but I used to love to draw. And then collect toys. Yeah. But I mean, that's all kind of the same shit as today. So.
Well, Reels, when I hear about Unworthy's like hunting trips that he goes on, like, I'm so mesmerized. Like, I had this whole pitch where one day I would drive all the way to where he's at just to go hunting with him one time. And the entire time we're laughing because he's like, you're going to be that annoying person that's like,
I said, it's going to be like going hunting with my wife. Like, you're going to want to keep chit chatting. And I'm going to be like, that's not how hunting works. You got to be quiet.
Is that a deer? No, that's a tree, Danny.
Right.
Is that a deer? No, that's a rock, Danny. No. But it's amazing. It's amazing how much passion he puts into it and how much he knows about it. And I'm like, dude, I've told him this many times. Like, if the world ends, I'm going to drive 5 to 6 hours just to get to him because he knows how to survive. So.
Hey, that whole thought of surviving and having a right to protect yourself. I don't know if it's age or because the climate we in politically.
Yeah.
But man, I think about carrying all the time now.
Us
urban folks though, it's a little different. It's but I do appreciate more the culture and the Midwest and the non-hood folk, right? Because it's a culture. It's part of the upbringing. It's like Yelzy in the streets or a stickball or something. Said Worthy is that hunting is part of your upbringing, right? It's things that are embedded in the culture.
Unworthy, you got any questions before I ask any more? Because I got a billion of them.
Well, you're gonna bring up his page, right?
Yeah. I wanted to kind of showcase your page and just kind of show everybody that's watching some of the stuff because you have a bunch of stuff up there. Awesome artwork, awesome, like some of the figures, characters up here, and then we'll just go through them a little bit. Let me see. Here we go. We're gonna share screen, and so we're here currently right now.
I can't believe you got that right on the first try.
You see that? So for everybody that's watching, this is Foostam's page. If you have not head over to Instagram and given him a follows, please do so right now. Because as you guys can see, he's an amazing, amazing artist, but an amazing human being. Just kind of go over now. This character right here, this is Bodega, correct?
That's Bodega Blade. Yep.
Okay,
That,
and it was yeah. Go ahead.
yeah, that's more of a cartoony, stylized Scott Pilgrim-y type version of them. Yeah.
That's awesome. So now one of my questions is how long does it take? Like what is the process where you're gonna start like a sketch or something? How's that process going? Like, and what I mean by like when I'm like, for example, me when I'm taking photos, right? Like sometimes I'll have the TV on or I'll go through like YouTube or even like the Google and I'll Google like movie stills. I'm a big movie fan, big poster fan, and like movie still fan. So that's where I gain a lot of my inspiration when I'm taking a photo. So like you drawing, being an illustrator, and with your own characters, how does that process go for you?
I always think about the layout first.
Okay.
The layout is important. That's kind of what leads the viewer's eye and all these little tricks that you learn over time. So I draw small thumbnails and see how much of the head and the body is occupying how much space, and if I'm getting this nice layout, right? And then I'll go into a very loose sketch. I never go in tight. I never go in tight because if you go in tight, it shows and it looks forced, and you want fluid lines. You want to pick up wrinkles and motion. So you always gesture draw first. Very very loosey, and then you start getting into the details. A sketch, I'm pretty quick with sketches. Depends on how detailed you want it to be. But then I'll slap the inks on it. And again, same thing. It depends on the detail, how much light and shadow, how much black you got in there. You want a nice base, like here, you want to pick where you have the black set. Nice move from the bottom to the top here and there. So that it's balanced, right? If it's too much black in the bottom and not enough in the top, it looks like it's unfinished. So that drawing there, sketch was probably like 15 minutes, maybe.
Wow, 15 minutes. Wow, that's impressive.
But that's fast. I'm just like, but then when the inks come, it'll take me about maybe 2 to 3 hours maybe to ink that. It depends. Now when you're in a workflow, like I just finished a children's book, that first few pages is rough because you're trying to anticipate what the client wants. So when you do that, you also limit why they chose you. They chose you because of your art, not because of your representation of what they're thinking. So they like your art. So you always got to keep yourself of that. And when I get loose, then I start, running through the pages pretty quickly. But it does take a little time, to find your groove.
Yeah. Have you ever run into like situations where like you have something set, this idea of a sketch or something in your mind, and then when you get to the actual like to the process of it, it like switches up on you? Have you ever gone into those? That's happened to you before?
Yeah, the most planned ones never come out as planned.
No, never.
But the ones that are unplanned is the beautiful accidents. It's like all of a sudden, like, whoa, I didn't even think of that. Like, okay, all right, I'm on something here. And then it starts, because what you did is you hit a dark alley that you've never seen before, you never experienced. So now you're like, whoa, and it starts getting exciting. And it brings back that stuff that made you begin drawing or photography, photographing, I guess.
Yeah. Now, are you the traditional way with like pencil and paper, or have you done like digital drawing, like with the digital boards, or is it just like old school?
Yeah. Old school. I love old school. because you could feel there's a feel to it. It's you
Yeah.
feel that I made mistakes, and you can feel that
Yeah.
they're not perfect,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that sometimes when you may do a little, oop, I made a little accident, but it winds up being a good accident.
Yeah.
So I still love doing pen and ink, but it is dying in a way. And but so I do work, like when I work professionally is mostly
Mm.
digital, just because
Okay.
it's faster, it's quicker to produce, and it's just easier for commercial.
Yeah.
You know.
So now these characters on this photo right here. So is this Bodega in the middle?
So that's Screwface, right? That's the
Screwface.
second.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the second in command. He's a little total. He's a little crazy, and he's the nutcase. You know, we all had the friends that are get over here. You're acting up. Stop it. It's acting. You know, he's the guy that likes to start a fight with the biggest guy in the bar. So
That sounds like
he,
me.
That's
I'm that
unworthy.
friend.
That would be on this would be unworthy in our comic lore. I would be Bodega, and that's unworthy right here.
so right here, what he does is there's a time where he feels that the team is beginning to restrict him.
Okay.
So he takes a gang that their leader got locked up. So he takes that gang and makes them
Mm.
his own. They become the bloodsuckers. That's why
Oh.
he's the only human there. The bloodsuckers were formerly the kaiju, the killing kaijus. So they're like
Mm.
these kaiju guys in biker vests, and they're a gang. But what he does is he convinces them. They think he's a genius, even though he's a nut. They think he's a genius because it's really the first human that they've kind of thought of having them in their gang. So he kind of mesmerizes them with his wisdom,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they start following him. And he actually goes against his old team, but then he comes back eventually, and and they love him and they embrace him again.
That's awesome. And you know what? Just and to clarify, he is the smartest because any human that could get a kaiju's to follow him
Yeah.
around, definitely. Yeah, yeah. You already won that battle.
Yeah,
Just to kind of just go through some of the pages, well, like just to
yeah.
see. So you have other characters here, which I want to showcase. This is probably some of the resin toys that you have. So tell us a little bit about these. I know this is Bodega Blade right here, and now is this a variant figure of the character?
Yeah, that's the fifth year anniversary. That's why you got
Oh,
the
okay,
five there. Uh,
nice.
fifth anniversary edition. I wanted to do something that looked nice and pretty to
Mhm.
commemorate the time. So
Okay.
he's black and gray with some spots of gold, and he comes in a nice black and gold deluxe box. I try to keep the price pretty reasonable. Um,
Hmm.
and the one on the right is Screwface, but that's the uh, BLM version of Screwface. But
Okay.
I had a Porter Young Lords version of
Okay.
Screwface, and then I had a BLM version of Screwface. This one is the Puerto Rican, the Young Lords version. So he has the red coquille in the front, the red revolutionary flag on
Yeah.
on
Yeah. Yeah.
on a sweatband. Then you have Jen, who she's she's not in the gang, but she's from another gang called the Pink
Okay.
Skeleton. Well, it's really PMS, the Pink
That's awesome.
down with the PM. She's the leader of the PMS crew, and she has her son in the back, and her son is a baby kaiju. So this world starts mixing with these kaiju's and these humans, and we start to see like what it's almost like oh, the first Italian that moves in the neighborhood. All of a sudden, there's a bunch of Italians. It's like that. Things start to transform. The guy in the left is Wapo.
Yeah.
He's a guy that just came off of Miami, hence the flashy colors. And he realizes that his boxing skills are great, but the South Bronx is a little different. It's a little tougher. So
Yeah.
he has to wear these specialized, these custom gloves to really do damage. And he becomes
Nice.
a full crew himself. Yeah.
I really like it. What I love about these figures is just like the how much you relate to, like, like with the, with the Timberlands, you have the Nike sandals, and then just the word Tomai on the belt buckle, like stuff like that. Like it's like it kind of reminds me of, like, I don't know if you remember like going to the supermarket, and in the candy machines they had the little homies and the
Yeah,
mijos. Remember they used to sell the little homies and the little
yeah,
mijos. I used to collect those, and it kind of give me those kind of vibes, but they also give me the Boondocks vibes. I was a
yeah.
big Boondocks fan. I used to watch the shows all the time, so like it definitely gives me those vibes. But
Yeah,
that's so cool, man. I like these, man.
yeah,
Like
man.
this one, yeah,
They were meant to look and feel like you're in New York. You're
mm-hmm.
in New York, and you got the beef and broccoli Timberland boots. We call
Yeah,
them
yeah.
the
Beef and
Timberland,
broccoli, yeah.
and then the sandals. But I felt that the sandals, the way the kids, well, kids, right? Like I'm an old man, used to wear them with the top.
That's
It
true.
looked,
They used to do that. Yeah.
oh, now everybody's doing it, but at the time it was only the young kids, and they're kids, right? And I thought that they looked like samurais with them. So
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
he has a jacket and it looks like samurai shoes. I was like, shit. So I'm borrowing these things from martial arts and from the hood and New York, especially. You know, thanks.
Uh David says you have to see them in person to really admire them. His attention to details is amazing. I've had the privilege, and I said this before, I've had the privilege of going to New York Comic Con and actually going to the booth. This is before I met Rios and before I knew anything about food stamps. And we're gonna get into it. There's this one specific statue that really stood out to me so much. But now just seeing all this and just hearing the story about all these characters and like what they mean to you and what they represent is just it just made my my respect level goes super high. Like I'm in love with these characters already. And again, I agree. I love how relatable they are because like how many like people like you have the let's like people go to the kids go to the New York Comic Cons, they go to conventions and they see these figures and they're like, well, I kind of look like this. They can say I look like this character right here. I wear my sandals like that. Like it's funny because the beef and I own the beef and broccolis, but I've always been a field boot Timberland guy. So those boots right there, as soon as I saw them, like, yeah, that's my joint right there. So I respect.
But
I love it, man.
That's thank you for saying that because
Yeah.
that's what it is. This is
Yeah.
me being tired of all in the mainstream toy company.
Yeah.
I've dealt with a lot of that stringent IP stuff. It just this is me just like F that, man. Just like let this and it's just putting heroes a different spin on heroes. Heroes can look like us. They can feel like us, sound like us. It's another story that I don't think is really being told enough.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
Need more of that. Yeah.
No, they're beautiful, man. And again, they're so relatable. Like I have a question, but I'm gonna save it for I want to keep going because you got so much amazing stuff on here. Yeah, you have merch. This is pretty good. Fideos deliciosos, so tasty noodles. So here you go, Worthy. When you're sick, this is the shirt you need right here.
Yeah.
You want delicious noodles.
Well, all my drawings are usually kind of aggressive, and you see Bodega Blade with blood spatter, and he's cutting up some bad guys. But this was like it was almost like an advertisement. Like it says Fideos Delicioso, right? Delicious noodles in Nueva York, from New York. So it's like that Puerto Rican thing, we take some of New York, we spin it a little bit, we add our own little
That's awesome, man. I love it.
Pretty illustration. It's cute.
Yeah, it's cool.
I'm Worthy. I don't know. This might be a gift,
it's definitely like a stark comparison to like the comic book art, like
Yeah.
Yes. Thanks.
That's a dope shirt. I like it. And then you got some pins here.
Yeah, this was a collaboration with his name is Urge Yourself, and on Instagram, he's a great artist. His real name is Enrique. We teamed up here. This is a Screwface Bloodsucker variant. So he stylizes these characters with big heads and these exaggerated proportions. and we had the Bodega Blade version, and that sold out really quick. And I was like, let's do some more. We got Screwface. Demonio has been on the back burner for a little while, but
Yeah.
he'll be out soon.
I know this artist right here because I purchased some Bray Wyatt Fiend.
Oh yeah,
Bray Wyatt Fiend, different like versions of him, like the burning version, the green it's like a green Jokerized version, and there's like a regular version of these pins. So it's crazy how you partnered up with this artist, because I have some pins from this artist, and it's stuff is dope.
I love it.
What else we? Yeah, his style is like he really brings out, like, especially your style. Like he
Yeah,
brings out a lot of like your art. Like he brings it out really well.
sure.
It is it's just stuff like
New York Comic Con. No, I gotta say, New York Comic Con, like you said, people come by, right? They don't know anything about food stamps. They all laugh when they see the name food stamps up. They just
yeah.
walk by and they go, "What?" Oh, they start laughing. But when I tell them the story, they go, and
Yeah.
it's really, well, it's everybody really.
Yeah.
When I talk to them and they come, they go, "My God, I've never
Yeah.
something like this could exist," and it's a real going to New York Comic Con, which I'm already planning New York Comic Con
Oh
now.
yeah.
New York Comic Con is the event that charges your batteries. It really does.
Mhm.
Go in there, you're able to speak to the people, all the fans, all the geeks, all of us.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's where I'm able to like gauge, you
Yeah.
know, going, and it's wonderful. And all these girls, they had Fight Club, and they wanted to take a picture of Bodega Blade. I was like, here, hold the sword, and they just had a great time.
That's awesome. Now, whether you have any questions?
Not yet. No.
All right. Well,
You keep on interrupting.
Sorry about that. Go ahead, interrupt me, please, because I'm geeking out because these are dope. One question, like, not really a question, like, to be at New York Comic Con, right? It's such a big event. I go every year, and again, and you're right, like, there's just geeks everywhere. Everybody's just having a good time from every different like anime, movies, any form of entertainment. Everybody's just having a good time, showing everybody love. For you to be standing at your booth, right, and seeing this statue, right, and these people coming, just taking photos, and you being able to explain to them the story of your characters that are your babies, right? Like how is that feeling to you? How does that, like, what is running through your mind when you're seeing things like this?
Remember when at the beginning I said I would always try to get my mother's attention. Ma, look, I'm drawing it.
Yeah.
And she would say, "Yeah, okay, good, nice. That's all I heard." As an artist, right? We're a little. I guess that's why everyone labels us as like emotional or temperamental, because we put our stuff out there in the world, and it's a very vulnerable thing to do, and also in your craft as well. You take something, and there's one thing to release something and just be totally arrogant, but most people are not. Most people are like, I hope this is accepted, and I hope I'm not insulting anybody, or even though I don't give a shit too much, but because it's just me, it's my story.
Yeah.
Really doing this for me, but to get some acceptance is almost like that mom going, you go, boy, you keep on. A big hug. I'm so proud.
That's awesome.
That's what it feels like. And as an artist, we're always putting work out there. And when we get that love, it's the best feeling in the world, and it really does keep you going. That's why New York Comic Con, I love it, and it really recharges my batteries. And I go, all right, I'm not doing nothing. There's times where you don't know if you're doing the right thing, and really out there with millions. There's like 1 million people walking that show.
Yeah, a lot.
People gonna come and they're gonna see your booth. And when people, I haven't really had negative experiences.
I was just about to ask if there's ever been any experiences at these cons where it's like somebody's been real negative about either your art or the message in
Mm.
the art or the
They have, yeah,
style.
yeah. That's happened. What in the beginning when I first did Bodega Blade, when I first so I designed Bodega Blade in the summertime.
Mm-hmm.
He was about to ship, and he would get here around, I think, October, November or something. You know, it's
Mm-hmm.
on a boat from China, so I don't really have control over it. But while it was shipping, there was a horrible murder in New York. Uh, God bless the dead. It was a junior,
Mm-hmm.
murdered at a
Yeah.
bodega.
Yeah.
So I start promoting this thing, Bodega Blade, and he has a green and orange jacket and he has a sword inside. His name is Bodega, and this kid just died in a bodega.
Yeah.
People were really, really, really
Yeah.
ripping. So channel all the news stations wanted to talk to me, all of them,
Oh man.
and I was like, no. I'm not gonna take none of these, because what they're gonna do is they're just going, it's juicy, right? They just want,
Yeah.
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 They want to spin it.
yeah, they want to
Mm-hmm.
spin it. They want to hear me, and once I start talking, they're going to go to another person, say, "What about?" And they just
Yeah.
kind of they play, they play you against each other. And I'm not going to do
Yeah.
that. I was
No.
never. This was totally innocent. This is a superhero.
Mm-hmm.
No disrespect to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Effort. So when I first released the character, now I'm selling it at shows. What happened was a lot of people would come to me and be like, "Hey, don't you think food stamps is a negative, and it's a negative connotation to
No.
Ricans and Latinos in the hood?" I said, "My man, I grew up on food stamps. Okay,
Straight up. Straight up.
movie. I'm telling my story in a stylized way. If you can't accept that, it's all good.
Yeah.
Good luck, and go see Spider-Man. It's like,
That's right.
hey
Yeah.
man, it's you can't, if I'm doing something and I believe in it, I'm doing the right thing, then don't come
Yeah.
don't start trying to make my
Yeah.
thing into a negative. So I got a
No.
few of those, but a lot of the times, to be honest, once I talk to them, they go, "Man, I was a little upset at you. I didn't know you. I was a little upset when I saw
Mm-hmm.
food stamps and Bodega Blade." It's like, you're not getting it, knucklehead. It's like,
Yeah.
you're not
Yeah,
getting
that's what it sounds like. If anybody
Mm-hmm.
is going to criticize it, then it's obvious they're only looking at it at face value, the name,
Mm-hmm.
the style, the appearance. They don't know a
Yeah.
single thing about what's on the inside and the message. So
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't fucking worry about those type of people anyhow.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. A lot of people, it's like oh man, one of us, like what happens a lot of times is self-reflection. When one of your people is doing something positive, they're getting a little attention,
Mm-hmm.
they love to just tear it down because it just really makes them feel smaller than, in some weird way, and that's not cool, man. You gotta, let me
Nah.
express myself and do my thing. You don't like it, just keep it moving.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Chain Brother says our music is the same thing. You have to relate a bit to truly appreciate it. I agree 100%. 100% on that.
That's something I tell people all the time. You don't like what I'm doing, that's fine. It'll cost you nothing to not pay any
That's right.
attention to me.
That's right, David. Capital Karens. Yes, absolutely. No, but it's true. And it's kind of like and I know it's again COVID, when COVID first happened, right? Like people that weren't like getting food stamps had to settle to get food stamps. So you kind of were like in a way humbled in a way to kind of be in those predicaments to know what it is to go through stuff like that. Because again, like there have been like I've had so many conversations with people that I've never ever had to. And they're like, I had to because there was no way people were losing their jobs, all this stuff was going on. But I agree 100%. And you basically answered the question in a way that you answered perfectly. Like it's nice to see that they get this like first perception of what you're trying to show them until like they actually hear the story about it, right? And this is why it's great to have like shows like this where we could showcase people and make people understand, because maybe somebody that's watching maybe didn't understand the reason for the name food stamps. They didn't understand why it was called that. Now they're getting the whole gist of it all, and it's a beautiful thing. Like I love every minute of it. Now, I want to like find this one statue which really like it's the one. Before we get there, like I really
Yeah,
can
I
I
want
just
to
say
see
that
what are the cards too.
yeah, the cards. Yeah, let's go to the cards. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about these cards right here.
These cards are like preview cards to
Okay.
a game that me and my son are conceptualizing, developing. It's a lot harder than I thought, but it's a different way of fighting with cards. But
Okay.
these are like character cards, and you have some like the old Marvel Legends cards. I think they were called
Okay.
Masterpiece. No,
Yeah, yeah,
you know, the old stuff with their power rankings and so
yeah,
forth.
yeah, yeah.
So this is just kind of uh, a way to introduce new people to the genre. Like, you know, if you like cards and you want to collect something different, there's a nice little foil on the Food Stamps logo there, and it's just kind of understand the characters more. So it's from like a selling price point, right? You may not be able to cop $150 resin figure, but you can get a T-shirt that Demonio looks cool in that. Who's that character? You want to get a card for $5-10, then boom, you know you learn a little and you're a fan, you know.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, I always try to have a nice range of products that, you know, it has different price points for everyone.
That's awesome, man. And I know you have a few more here that were pretty cool. Like I know you have these ones. This is what you were talking about with the powers and all that.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
weapons. Yeah, these are pretty cool.
yeah. Thank you, brother. So
And now are these
I'm a
go
sucker
ahead,
for that sort of stuff. I like collector cards. Like I don't collect sports cards anymore, but I collect a lot of like Marvel and DC cards and stuff. And like they're like right up my alley. These are pretty
Now, are
fun.
these available right now? Like, can you get these?
yeah, those are available. There's also a special foil card.
Mm,
All the cards have a little foil in them, but it's there's a special foil Bodega Blade card just to
okay.
come 5th anniversary again. But yes,
Nice.
they're available still at the shop. I believe. I think we're running a little low, but they're there.
They're awesome, man. I love them.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's my guy right here, Wapple.
Yeah. He does.
reminds
I love how you gave us a little bit of his story there, because he does look like somebody who thought he was real hot shit and then had to be humbled a little bit. I love it.
Yeah,
Yes, absolutely.
like Tito Trinidad, right? Tito Trinidad.
Yeah, he's based. I was watching a documentary on the great Puerto Rican fighter who like just had some demons. You know, was Hector Macho.
Yeah.
He was very flat.
Yeah.
Hey, macho time. It's macho time.
Mm-hmm.
This guy is saying Wapo. It's Wapo time. You know, it's pretty much
That's dope.
macho. You Wapo. You know, you like to talk shit. You're brash. So yeah.
That's cool, man. We have Raven says haters gonna hate. Your work speaks for itself. It tells a deeper story. Keep doing you because it's amazing.
Thank you, bro.
Link says that's dope, bro. Relatable and urban culture respect. Definitely. Yeah, dude, like these figures are like super dope, man. Like now this guy right here, I was like very interested in
Oh
this guy.
man,
What's up with this
I
guy?
scrolled
Yeah.
through these ones several times. I was like, man, I wonder how I get my hands on this.
What's the story with this guy right here? He kind of reminds me of like what was the ninja's name from Metal Gear Solid? I can never get his name. There was the ninja from
Gray Fox. Cyborg Ninja.
Yes. It kind of reminds me of it, but it has a hint of like Red Hood a little bit, right? Like it kind of gives me like Red Hood vibes. So like tell me a little bit about this character right here.
Right. So this is Bastard Wraith, right? The Bastard Wraith is one of the full crew in the future. It's about 60 years into the future. And the full crew jumps on a New York City train and accidentally wind up in the future.
Wow.
And what happens is that this is the Bastard Wraith. He's a villain now. But this was my first This was my first vinyl figure in collaboration with Strange Cat Toys. So
Okay.
there's some pieces still left of. It's funny, we released a Cyborg Ninja colorway.
Mm.
So that's in Strange Cat Toys, and it's really nice. It has the pearlized helmet, the that purplish
Mm-hmm.
blue with the orange, the copper accents.
Mm-hmm.
This is the Red Hood version. So he
Oh,
has the
nice.
blue in the chest. He has the gray and the army colors. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's really nice. It has light up front, light up backpack, and it
That's
also
so cool.
multiple swords. His arms move up and down. So this one was really nice. Comes with a certificate of authenticity too. Really, really
I
nice.
like how his swords, they almost look like pruning shears that he ripped apart.
Yeah.
Exactly. They were meant to look like big old shears, like
That's
almost
so
like
cool, man.
a scissor. Yeah,
They're so freaking awesome, man. I love them.
Yeah.
I'm
thank
where
you.
these like I need like 2 of these right now. It's so dope.
I'm a big Red Hood fan, so when I was
Yeah.
scrolling through to take a look at your stuff, I was like, "Ooh, man, I like this." And I find every time I go onto your page to keep looking at them, I stop on. There's a couple pictures of this character here that I keep stopping on.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
That one's that's a Tenacious Toys exclusive.
All
That's
right.
awesome, man. Now, like this, I love this one right here. This is really, really cool.
Yeah, that was a one off. Everyone was.
Yeah.
This is the original, the black, white, and red.
Yeah.
Someone was asking for the red, white, and blue, and I was like, okay. So we did one, and somebody was lucky enough to cop it. I kind of felt like, damn, I didn't want to sell that one. Hand painted, and it came out really nice. It says Palante on the front.
I love the photo. Like whoever did you take this photo right here?
Yeah, it was me.
Yeah.
Or, it was either me or my wife. I
Yeah.
forgot.
Well,
That
one of you guys is one hell of a toy photographer.
Yeah, it worked out that way. It was actually
Yeah.
a bigger image. The image had like all these other figures and
Yeah,
comics,
yeah.
but that was just like the money shot.
Yeah. That is the money shot. That shot is dope.
Thank you.
Awesome. Now there's a just to kind of where is it? I want to find it. This is the one I wanted to talk about. So tell us a little bit about this fig. This is so just a story. This is the one who kind of captured my eye at your booth. When me and my buddies were walking around New York Comic Con, we end up at this booth and we see this big pun statue. And we're like, man, how cool is this big pun statue? Now tell us a story. Tell us a story about this. What was the inspiration of making this statue figure?
So like hip hop is part of my life, right? It's when I walk out. I've never been, a lot of people tell me do the food stamps with a big stereo blaster and do
Yeah.
with a bottle of 40 and I'm like, man, that's not what our culture is about only.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to do is I wanted to do things on my terms, right? And I told I knew Christopher Rios, God bless his soul. I knew I played softball with him back in the day, but I didn't know him intimately. I just knew him because he was playing in the same league.
Yeah.
He was a very funny guy. So he passed on. It was a big blow for people in the Bronx, Puerto Rico. He was the first Latino rapper to go platinum. So he was just a funny, good dude, and mess with anybody. But because I'm from the same neighborhood, roughly the same neighborhood, it's like a few blocks away. I felt like there were no big pun toys out there. There still really isn't. And I felt like, look, I'm a toy designer. I got my own company. Why don't I just reach out to Liza, his wife, and just pitch her something. And right away, she just loved it right away. Like she was like,
"That's awesome, man."
Oh. And I said, but there's one thing I asked though. Can I like do it in the food stamp style? And Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
That's awesome.
So I was able to one capture this iconic rapper, but also have him in that whole full stamp
Yeah,
shoot. So he's like the cartoon version of himself, and
that's so cool, man.
the first and only, from what I know of, still officially licensed Big Pun toy or collector.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That is awesome, man. And the fact that you got the stamp of approval from his wife and being able to do it in your own style, that's golden right there, man. Yeah.
Yeah, man. There might
This
be some future stuff. Just needs a few approvals.
That's awesome.
man, listen, this and Chubsy owns one of these, right? Or is it this one he owns? He owns one of them, right?
He owns the. So this is the original. That was the prototype, right?
Okay.
This is the production one. The production
Okay.
one, black on the jacket. I think the symbol is a little different on the hat.
Okay.
There's some little differences. The symbol on the arm, the full stamps.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's the one that Chubsy has. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I definitely he was super happy to have it at his store because he's a New York guy himself. So
Oh, yeah.
when he had it, he felt it was like a trophy. He was so proud to have it at his store.
Yeah.
It was,
But when
it was like
I was knocking to get into the store, like I told you in the
yeah,
beginning.
yeah.
That's how I think he let me in, because they're like, wait, you're the guy that's doing the big punt. Get your ass in here, right? And then
That sounds like
that's how it started. Good dude.
that's cool. That's so dope, man. Yeah, definitely an awesome. And I know there's like another version here, right? This is like the Punisher version.
Yeah, these were handmade. They take a while to pump out because you can't really see there, but there's different textures on the black. There's like a gloss.
Yeah.
And then he has a little weathering on the eyes, and it has that spray painted skull.
Yeah.
We sold about 15 of those hand painted joints. I'm not doing any more of those.
Now,
The pain in the ass.
Now, how long does it take to get one of these done? Like to paint it? Like how long is the process to get one of these done?
Some people are really quick, like they'll do that. But me, because of my scheduling and stuff, it'll be sitting on my table just because I gotta jump off and jump back on. It'd take maybe like 3 weeks to paint.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, painting is a meticulous game. You got to have a steady hand. You got to be in the right mind state for it too.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, and I'm usually, luckily, this guy comes in parts, so that's a little forgiving. The hands are separate color from the jacket. You just kind of glue them together, but paint every piece separately. Yeah, it's very meticulous. And I'm not the greatest at it either, but people love original pieces, so
yeah, it's so cool, man. And Pat, we have a buddy in the community who's a big Punisher fan. His name is Path the Collector. If you're watching this is the statue for you, buddy. It's dope. Oh man, I love that, man. So cool, man. I was gonna actually go into the link tree for the merch stuff because I actually was able to get myself where are we right here? I was able to now let me tell you, these things right here, I don't know how I missed out on these, but I should have gotten them. Like shame on me for finding out, like not finding out sooner than later that I should have owned one of these, because this is dope. This is right up my alley. I love horror. And what are these, little dinosaurs? Or
so that's the baby kaiju that was in Jen's backpack.
oh, okay.
The baby kaiju, he's kind of like he's an infant there, and he'll grow up to be like this big Godzilla. He'll eventually jump in the Hudson River, break out. But he's his name is Baby Renzo, and we my wife and I started painting him. This is actually my wife's work.
Nice.
Out a lot with painting. She helps me a lot. Not even painting, man. If it wasn't for her, really, I'd be lost, man. Like she is strong. She's the strongest people I've ever known. And you know, we had some potato chips coming. We had like thousands and thousands, and I had sciatica on my back and my leg. She was like, "I got this," and just taking all this shit
That's
out.
awesome, man.
Or just amazing work. I can never repay her for that. But yeah, yeah.
No, go ahead.
She actually painted this one. This one's one of her pieces. The Terrifier. We love that movie.
Yeah.
Terrifier.
Like the clown.
So yeah.
Do you own the did you ever buy, because I know you collect 1/6, did you buy Trick or Treat Studios as the 1/6 scale?
I didn't, because I had to be like, do I continue? I had to take a little break. Do I stuff for the business, you know. So
well, if you're ever looking for them, I know where you can find them at a good price. No, nothing crazy. I got you. I'll send you the link, and I got you. So, but definitely, yeah, these are amazing. When I saw these, I was like, yeah. And then you got the Jason one right here as well. Here's a Unworthy t-shirt right here. I'm gonna call it the Unworthy t-shirt because he's a Green Lantern fan and he's sick, so I'm thinking soup. So this is definitely his shirt right here. I'm gonna have to cop this for my boy. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have to get this for my boy as a gift. And then I love this one right here, this homage of the Notorious B.I.G. cover.
Yeah.
Like ready to scrap. Like, this is dope. Like,
thank you.
Like I love it, man. And then some of the cards here, the foil trading cards, some of the resin toys, some of the comics.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see you got a Ninja Turtles line here with the these are the same kaijus, correct?
Yeah, those are hand sculpted, hand painted. Well, hand casted, hand painted. Yeah.
Listen, for anybody that's watching, if you're not like, take some time to look at this stuff. So I was a big fan of this ski mask. Let me just say, and this is like the one I use for the promo. And like, I was like, I have to own this ski mask. This is the ski mask. Ain't it nice that we could actually walk in a bank and wear a ski mask and they don't think you're gonna rob the place? Like, yeah. I could walk in my bank now and say I'm representing food stamps and I'm not robbing anybody here. I'm gonna deposit some money.
I love walking that line between, you know, what's acceptable and what isn't, or what's like my kid likes to say, cringy, and what's, you know, and it's kind of terrifying, borderline at the same time. Like, it's a kind of a no-brainer, you know, and I just like that, and that's why the whole image and like me taking that stupid picture was like, this is me just being nuts, you know.
Cobra Dad with his jokes. Oh my god, dude. Just amazing stuff. I love New York shirts. You see the hat that he's actually Food Stamps actually wearing right now. Pretty dope. Awesome. I got beef. Listen, this is like probably one of my next t-shirts that I'm gonna get, because again, I'm a big Feel Boot Timberland guy. I love them.
Yeah, man.
They're so many. Here's the pins.
Yes.
And then we got more here. Some of the stuff here, man. I'm telling you, just amazing stuff, man. Like I'm listening.
Is this the same site on your link tree? Is this where people would go to pick up your books?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you can pick up the books. It's foodstamps.com, or you can click the link on my bio.
And I believe the comics, these are the comics, correct, right here?
Yeah, that's the #1 foil cover
for New York Comic Con, a New York Comic Con exclusive, correct?
Yes.
Oh, awesome, man.
We'll have a few pieces of those in stock.
Those are dope, man. And like, I'm telling you, for everybody that's watching, just to hear the story and how all this came about, and how much heart and how much dedication, and also too, not only that, but like the fact that he has his wife and his kid giving him the inspiration, and then they're feeding off of each other's ideas. The fact that you include them in it, that's a beautiful thing. That has so much more like significant value to it, right?
Yeah,
so it's a beautiful thing, man. Like, I love it.
I love having the kids with me everywhere, because they just get to see that there's more than one way. You know, when I grew up, it was like, all right, you could be a janitor, mechanic,
Yeah.
learn something with your hands, but there's so many other careers you can go to now, and it's nice to share that with my kids and say, look, I freaking make toys and I'm selling them on the streets, pretty
That's
much.
awesome, man.
And so I like having them around, you know.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. I think we as fathers, like all of us are dads here, and like there's times where Unworthy kind of like he's been collecting these, what are those little blind bags that you've been collecting, Unworthy, with the kids?
Yeah, yeah. We collect a lot of those little blind bags, like little pop looking things. Like
Hmm.
um, they come with like a little deck of cards, and they're
Yeah.
like little
Oh,
pushy things.
Yeah.
We
So
collect those stuff.
yeah. Now it's I was gonna say that mentioning that it's nice that how we kind of like as dads, right? Like we love to see like we have so much passion, but like we incorporate our kids into it. Like my kids, I want to say my son, he's like big into like drawing and like he makes his own like props. Like he made like the God of War hammer, he did the Blades of Chaos out of like cardboard box, and the kid is talented. And I'm like, dude, you should like definitely pursue it. And he even has his own toy photography page. Like he started it because he wanted to do it too. But like just to kind of just be involved and them seeing you doing something other than just being out there being a knucklehead and
right.
seeing you doing something harmless and you know and awesome. Like they love it because again, what we do is awesome. Um, one of my final questions for you tonight is what advice do you give? All right, what advice do you give somebody that wants to take the same journey that you took, right? Like what advice do you give them?
Um, um, that's a tough one because there's so
Hmm.
many different. There's millions of ways to skin this cat. I mean, but what I would say was is that you have to keep your blinders on. Uh,
Hmm.
you can't. Yeah, you got to go out in the market and you got to see what's happening and what's going
Yeah.
on and find where that blank space is that
Hmm.
you can where you can participate, where you could
Yeah.
where there has to be a white space.
Yeah.
And when you see that, right, and then if you feel you can feel it, you feel that there's a passion, like I gotta tell this, I gotta print this, I gotta draw this, whatever it is, do it with blinders on. Don't look and don't do it for anyone else. Do it for yourself and don't see what the other man's doing. That's just gonna distract you, and it's
Yeah.
actually gonna taint your pure.
Yes.
You know, it's
Like
really
comparison is the poison of creativity.
Hmm.
yeah, exactly. Well put. It is because so many things influence you and brings this stuff out, but there's a lot of stuff that also poisons it, hinders you, stops you from really doing you. So just be genuine to yourself. You know, if
That's
you
awesome.
if you like skirts and ponytails, hey man, go nuts.
Hmm.
If rocket ship out of space, you want to tell that story, but be you throughout it because all of our voices are unique. So
Yes.
keep
Hmm.
that voice that makes your story different. There's a million space stories, but
Yeah.
now million space stories that sounds like Rio Spelante from the South Bronx. That's
Hmm.
a story.
Yeah.
Stick to you, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. That's listen, that's perfect advice. Definitely. And I tell you, one of the things that I've like gained from just having a conversation and getting to know your work is that, you know, I go back to when we first started this, like you were this kid who drew on mom's wall and took a chance and you made this shit your own thing. You made it your own. Like you dabbled on things, but you wanted it to be your own thing. And then even when you faced adversity and people kind of like were you're being negative about it, just to hear you speak, and even now, like just hearing you speak, you see the love and dedication that you have for, and that's what's important artists, right, and what they do, right. It's not a buck, right. It's not, oh, I'm just making a buck. No, there's a lot of work and there's a lot of love that comes from this, you know what I'm saying? So, dude, like, very, 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 like I'm like blown away. It's amazing stuff. Again, it's awesome.
Thank you.
No, absolutely, dude. And so we've gotten to the portion of our show where we're actually we're gonna do giveaways. I'm gonna do a giveaway tonight. Um,
I got
uh, reels. You're dude.
hey,
Thank
yeah,
you. Like,
dude, I'll let me see what I got.
okay,
I got issue number 2 would be signed. I got that.
okay,
This has the Demonio storyline. I've
okay.
got issue 3, which the artwork is from Mark Bode,
Oh, nice.
legendary artist. Really good story. And then the children's book called Maria and the Glutton. I'll sign
That's awesome.
that. And also this art print here.
That's awesome.
Well,
That's
so
so cool. Look at that.
I'll give that away. Put it in a nice.
So, are you giving all these? First off, thank you, because that is such a generous gesture. And dude, like, we can't thank you enough. And again, like, we definitely appreciate it. Like, we probably would have been the first people like, no, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. But we do. We definitely appreciate it. I'm definitely gonna do a giveaway tonight as well. So,
It's not that he's not giving anything as cool as you are.
not as cool as you are. So that's why I wanted to be second, because I wanted but like, courtesy of our homie Diggs Figs. Diggs Figs, I don't know if you're in the chat, if you're watching. Thank you. You're an amazing guy. Courtesy of Diggs Figs, he's great, blessed us A Worthy Addiction with a gift to be able to give, with a figure to be able to give back to the community, give back to you guys, because you guys are awesome, and we love you, and we thank you for all the support. And more importantly, we thank you for joining us tonight and supporting and showing love to our guests, because again, how fucking cool is this story, right? Like, we knew what we were getting into. So tonight I'm going to be giving away a, what is this? The collector's, McFarlane collector edition of Batman Green Lantern, brand new in box. So it's pretty cool.
Lantern.
The Bat Lantern. This is what I'm going to be giving away tonight for, just to show love. So we're excited. So,
Beautiful. I think
I'm worthy. I don't know if you want to set up the,
Yeah, I got one ready. I'm ready to cook. I just was waiting
right.
to see.
so. Really quick. I'll do 2. Right, the bundle. The comics are 1.
okay.
And then the prints. There'll be 2 prints.
Oh, nice.
One is this lenticular print.
Ooh.
Right, you got Demonio, Bodega Blade, Bastard Wraith, and
awesome.
with the one I showed earlier, this guy. So,
all right, so you're doing two giveaways. So
yeah.
For everybody that's watching, we're gonna have three draws. It's gonna be one for the 2 prints, one for the 2 comics, and one for the McFarlane. One for the two for the cooler things, and then one for the McFarlane Green Lantern. I'm kidding. One for the Green Lantern Batman. So again, Reels, thank you so much, dude. We're definitely honored, dude. Like, and whoever wins your prints, send it to me and Unworthy. We'll keep them. We'll take care of them for you guys. No, whoever wins tonight, but congratulations, and and make sure you're on. So yeah, definitely. So it's easy for what are we drawing for, the prints or the figure or the
We'll use the same tag for all 3. So go ahead while we'll keep talking. You guys can just type in hashtag bodega in the chat, and it will tally it will start tallying up people for the giveaway here. And when we can keep talking as they're all doing that. Give it a few minutes, let everybody get their comment in.
And be sure that if you win, please be present to win. If not, we're going to move on to the next person. Be present in the comments, but also be sure that you're following Food Stamps. Go to his page right now. Go give him a follow. And I'm going to take a page out of my buddy's book. If you're not following Food Stamps right now, head over to my page and unfollow me. If you're not following this man, I'm going to take a page from my boy, because my boy is real. Worthy is a real one, and he always says that, and I respect him so much for saying that. So Worthy, you inspired me to say that tonight. But yeah, definitely, like, listen, all jokes aside, you guys heard Real's story today. You guys heard his process and where he came from and how he took a chance of life and pursuing something that he loves so much. And he's creating characters that relate to us, right? To us urban kids, right? Like, you know, and that's a beautiful thing. And you see how much work goes into it, and like how much he like support he gets from his family from it. So there's no way. So if you have not followed him, go follow him right now. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe on this shit. Show some support. And again, good luck to anybody who wins. So
Right.
we're excited.
Well, I want to say thank you
Yeah.
guys. Thank you for the love, and thank you to
No,
everyone
dude.
watching 2 hours of us just shooting
Just
the.
bullshit.
And I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. I haven't been out in social media that much lately, but it's only
Yeah.
because I'm preparing some nice sausage for later in the.
Okay.
You know?
Okay. And so perfect time. So like perfect segue. Are there any plugs that you want to plug? Is there anything you want to plug in now? Any upcoming things? Maybe you're going to any like any cons that you may be going to, or anything like new coming up?
Yeah, I'll be at obviously New York Comic Con next fall. I'll
Yeah.
be 5 Points Festival in Brooklyn. That's
Okay.
in I'll be supporting my homie in the Bronx. His Instagram is We Are Wrestling. So he
Okay.
little wrestling chapter out there, and there's a newfound respect that I have for the wrestling community. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, we went out there. My son's a big wrestling guy, and I'm there to support him. But now I got the fever, and I'm like, wow, yeah, going nuts. Bought like some Cody Rhodes belt, and I
Yeah.
we went to that event where he came back to New York to Madison Square Garden, and it was beautiful, man. So I
That's
haven't
awesome, man.
gone around. I'm like, man, I want to see some of that underground stuff.
Yeah.
It's like we talked about earlier. I mean, yeah, there's the mainstream stuff,
Yeah.
but I do is more underground, and
Yeah.
I like that stuff. And I recommend people go out there, have a little beer, and watch some
Yeah.
guy in underwears.
No, well, listen, Reels, if you're ever in Connecticut, I have a plenty of like underground wrestling that you could go to. I got a couple of buddies.
Let's do
Definitely
it.
let me know. I will definitely show you around and introduce you to these guys. These guys are amazing.
Beautiful.
And shout out, I wanted to give a shout out because you're wearing a sweatshirt today, the Power Move sweatshirt. So I wanted to give a shout out to your brother, right? This is your brother. And go ahead, I'll let you plug him, man, because I love the sweatshirt.
Yeah,
Go ahead, I'll let you.
my brother Jay Boogie, one of the
Yeah.
best DJs in the world. Always supported me, always loved. We grew up shitting in each other's diapers, and this is my man's brand right here, Power Moves, and I'm all about inspiration and supporting those that
Yeah.
are
Yeah, that's
from the.
awesome, man.
So absolutely, Jay Boogie, Jay Boogie NYC on Instagram.
Yeah, check his page out. I definitely gave him a follow today, and then some other people reached out to me during the DMs, just wishing me good luck on the show. I expressed how me and Unworthy were excited to have you on. And again, it was a long time coming, and I was ready, and I'm happy we were able to do this today. Unworthy, we got any plugs? We got anything?
Yes, actually, we just launched a new hashtag today for everybody. Whether you're an artist, action figure photographer, you make videos, you are a musician, cosplayer, anything that you are doing, we want to promote you. We want to talk about your work. So
Mm-hmm.
use hashtag AWA underscore weekly fix.
Mm-hmm.
And starting next week on the show, we are going to bring up a handful of shots that use that hashtag each week and talk about your shot, talk about your cosplay, your music, whatever it is you want to see promoted. We want to get your hard work out in front of more people,
Mm-hmm.
get more eyes on
Yeah,
what you're passionate
absolutely.
about. So it's
Absolutely.
hashtag AWA underscore weekly fix. And yeah, we just started that today.
Yeah. And for anybody, and just a quick plug for anybody who loves this content and love what we do, we also have plenty of more awesome content. If you go on our link tree, either on All Worthy Collectors or Toy Addict 17s, or on the A Worthy Addiction page, you can see check our link tree. We have a bunch of shows with people that do dials, do reviews, photo review, toy photos reviews, and just a bunch of great stuff. But also we have stores such as Chubsy Wubsy stores. There's a link to his store, and now we have Mr. Food Stamps. You are part of our link tree, so if you want to check food stamps, go check them out on our link tree. If you can't find them, if you go on our link tree, you will find them there. We added them to our link tree because, again, we're very honored. So definitely. So you can catch him on his page. So again, if you're not following Food Stamps, go follow him now. Go give him a follow. Go check out his amazing work. Go cop yourself a dope hat like he's wearing right now because that hat is fucking dope. And go show him some love, man, because he's an amazing person, man. So definitely. So all right, we're ready to go. So
all right, so we got 9 entries here. What do you want to start with? What's the first thing?
Let's start with the Green Lantern first. Let's start with the Green Lantern, and then we'll do the
unlucky winner first.
So the winner of this is gonna win the Green Lantern Batman from McFarlane Toys. This is new. Again, shout out to Diggs Figs for his generous gift to you guys, because he's giving it to you guys. So Diggs Figs, much love to you. Thank you so much, dude. You're an awesome guy. Thank you for everything you do. So good luck to everybody, whoever wins this.
All right, let's see who it is.
Go. Let's see. With our luck, Diggs Figs wins.
Chewing.
No chewing. You are the winner of a Green Lantern Batman. This is the McFarlane Collector's Edition, and yeah, buddy, this is yours. Brand new in box. Congratulations, dude.
Amen. Yeah.
Thank you for all that you do. Check out No Chewing on the TPC Top 10 every Wednesday at 8:45 on YouTube, and also check him out on Toy Talk, because he's part of Toy Talk as well. So much love, No Chewing.
No, awesome. I love those McFarlane. I only collect the Batmans. There's so many of them.
Same.
How ironic.
I have a lot of them. Did you get the did you go for the 6-pack, the movie figures?
No, that was a little out my range but I don't like the big packs. I like the singles. Even with that Red Hood and Batman one, I chose Red Hood without the I like them. I guess it's an OCD thing, but it's almost like I just can't. Same thing with DVDs, Blu-rays and stuff. I can't have big bulky boxes. It has to be one, boom, and that's it.
Yeah.
So have to have it all the same size. I get you.
Yeah, but I did just get that Jim Lee Batman. Really nice. He's a little bigger than the rest, but nice.
Speaking of McFarlane, this right here is McFarlane Figure of the Year, Animal Man. So if you have not purchased Animal Man, please purchase this one, because this is an amazing figure. I'm so happy he made this one. Shout out to my my brother, Worthy Collector. Thank you, Chris. Birthday gift. Thank you, brother. Yeah. Appreciate you. All right, we're ready. So next giveaway.
What's the first one?
3 comics, right?
The 3 comics. Let's do the comics. All right, next wins the comics. Good luck, guys.
It'll be your gateway to the food stamps.
There you go. Let's see who's the winner. Hey! Congratulations, Louis. You win the 3 comics. Congratulations. So congratulations, dude. Congratulations. You. That's awesome. Congrats, man. Congrats. That's awesome, man. That's amazing. Wow. That's super awesome. Congrats. All right. Next one.
All right, and the main event.
The main event, the Prince.
Good luck to everybody.
Louis, make sure you're in the chat. All right. This is for the Prince. Diggs Figs! Diggs Figs!
Good things happen to good people.
Good things happen to good people, man. Right. Wow. Diggs Figs, man. Listen, it was meant to happen because you're such a generous, awesome guy. Diggs Figs, congratulations, buddy. You earned him, dude. That's awesome.
Let's see. You're still in. Yeah, there he is. All right.
Yeah, Diggs Figs is in there. Yeah, Diggs Figs is in there. Well, congratulations.
He has a toy store? Is it?
No, he's
No,
a
he's
toy.
just like us. He's a collector, buys,
Yeah.
always on the lookout.
He just graces us with like figures that he has. Like it's funny because he'll reach out and say, "I have a buying problem. I need to stop buying figures." So like he'll like say, "Hey, I'm gonna send you a couple stuff so you can give away." And he's such a so I hope it's okay to say that because again, I want to get credit where credit's due. Dick is an amazing guy, amazing photographer, but amazing human being, and he just pays it forward to the community, and we love that he does that. So hey, much well deserved, dude. Congratulations to all the winners. No chewing, Lewis, Diggs Figs. Congratulations to all you guys. Yeah, and like I mean, this was an awesome fucking show. Like again, is everything I wanted it to be. Now, Rios, like I don't know if you were able to, but like I know I reached out to you and said like we usually like to end the show with a quote of the night. Do you have a quote that you want to share, whether it's from a book, a comic, or one of your comics, anything, or something that you've kept with you for a long time that always sticks to you?
I would say when I'll tell you what my mother used to tell me.
Okay.
When you go outside, don't bring back any babies. And don't get too drunk where you get locked up. There you go.
That's sound advice.
That's for real, and that's the best advice you could get. And listen, everybody, thank you so much.
I wish my grandma had told me that. What the hell?
I wish my mom. I think my mom did tell me that. I just didn't listen. But that was a beautiful, beautiful quote. Beautiful quote. And for everybody that's not watching again, hit the like and subscribe. We thank you so much. Food Stamps, thank you so much. Make sure you're following him. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen,
good night, beautiful.
Thank you for tuning in.
Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button.
Click that notification bell
for more content.